This is Randy Tom Hidalgo Jr. Um, this is Saturday before Halloween, 2011, and just doing my ongoing recordings. And today I came across a realization while reading the I I call it the Kabbalion. Kabbalion. I gotta find out exactly how to pronounce that, but it's a book based on 7 principles um, from the ancient Egyptian, um, Greek philosophers. So some of the original people who created, the thoughts of how natural law works and everything. And it was very interesting. It made me think of um, the spiritual being, the spiritual self. Um, we are all human. We're physical, flesh, human. Although we have a spirit, which is clouded by the mind, and the mind is basically taking in what we have as humans, which are our 5 senses. And our 5 senses filter to our mind what is material, what is of material value out there, and what we see. Um, and pretty much that's measured in abundance, or an amount of something that is, um, you know acquired, whether it be wealth of money or knowledge. So the mind is constantly being filtered through the 5 senses, and people adopt what is material because of the 5 senses, not really understanding their spiritual being, their spiritual hierarchy, if you would, part of being alive and conscious. This consciousness is part of the spirit, although it is not realized in full understanding that it is consciousness and that it is a spirit. We are stuck in the physical, unconscious realm of being human, being a human being. And the spirit side takes understanding and clarity of negative mind filtering senses. So when you can learn how to filter out all of the negative or bad or material things that are blinding your spirit and your understanding of your spirit and what you really are inside, deep down, beneath the flesh and the blood, and what it is visible to the naked eye, that's what you really are. They say we're made up of millions upon trillions of singular cells, which create one organism, um, because they are interconnected and working together. That is our physical human flesh body of a human being. Is these trillions upon trillions of cells working as a single organism. So if we're made up of these trillions upon trillions of cells that make up one single organism, it would be safe to say that there is something that interrelates them and makes them work together through oneness and understanding that one of them needs another in order to operate when they're at the capacity of trillions and trillions put together. So understanding that this one thing is what I believe is consciousness, the spirit, the spirituality side of being alive, in life and in consciousness and in everlasting immortality, spiritual being, spiritual self. that's what I see that I basically am. Um, this came to me reading the Kybalion and the Seven Principles, which I've only got to the third, but the mental transmutation or mental transmutation. This section opened up my mind to understanding that your mental states and what your mind is basically telling your spirit to be, um, what your mind has filtered through your senses and is telling you to be, which is your ego, yourself, when you're so, in vanity and wanting to shine and be individual and separate from everybody by way of your own unique look and style from the physical outside perspective of yourself, your flesh, by what you wear or the jewelry you have. That is material. And inside that material, you have, your heart, your mind, and beyond that, inside you, which I believe is the consciousness that is all around you, is the spirit. And your spirit, I guess, it is, you can't prove that it's entrapped in your body inside where your heart and your mind lie, your brain, but like it said in the Kybalion, I think it's in the Kybalion or what I just read that Pete gave me, which was the oh no, I found it. It was called the Truth Contest. But I heard this just now recently before recording this, and it said that the truth, the reading stated, what is it that listens to your thoughts that you have in your mind? And it was basically your spirit. Your spirit listens to your thoughts, and your thoughts come from your mind, which your mind develops these thoughts through the five senses of your human physical self and being and what you experience in everyday life. And through these five senses, thoughts are created and are interpreted through the mind, which then create your spirit. And if the spirit is just consciousness out in the open, not entrapped in your human body, then it is affecting the world around you, because everyone else has five senses and everybody else has a mind. Every person on this planet has a mind, and although those five senses may be limited because of disability or being unfortunate as being a human, not having one of your senses, then your mind is limited, but your mind learns to work around that and somehow make a different interpretation through that sense somehow by using an apparatus of some sort. So, the spirit is what I believe is somehow emitting an energy across space between your self consciousness or physical flesh being to another consciousness or physical flesh being. And this is this transfer of energy is through spirit, which is just everlasting space and universe. So if consciousness is what it is said to be through my interpretation and through the readings I've read on the Kybalion and the Truth Contest, then I understand the spirit as being consciousness, although this consciousness is not understood by many. I mean, 90 something percent of the population does not understand this, and only few, which may be a billion at least, do or it could be less than a billion, but they do understand this level of spirituality that is everlasting and immortal. It's immortality of spirituality, ongoing consciousness that evolves through everlasting time that can't be measured, and everlasting change. That's what it is. The spirit is in when you awaken to the truth of the spirit, it is awakening to a new consciousness that understands that it is one with everything that ever existed in the universe and beyond, and it all interrelates and works together as one single organism. And when you start to realize that, you start to become at peace. So that's my recording. I'm going to go ahead and end it there, but I thank you for listening, and hope that this thought was one of the most, what my buddy just said, profound, exceptionally profound. I hope this thought is exceptionally profound and stirs a seed of growth in anybody that comes across this, because I just found it amazing that I could come to a realization like this from reading two separate materials of text and translating it in this way. So thank you for listening, and good night.